The scent of sandalwood clung to the air, a mocking reminder of Silas Blackwood's final moments. Jedediah Stone knelt beside the freshly turned earth of the livery stable's dirt floor. The faint aroma lay over the metallic tang of gunpowder. Clem, his young deputy, stood sentinel at the stable door, his face etched with a grim alertness. "Nothing new, Marshal," Clem reported, his voice low. "Townsfolk are locked in their homes. They're whispering about a curse, a reckoning." Jed ignored the superstition. He's seen enough truth in the West to know fear manifested as folklore. "Find me anything that wasn't there before. Anything at all." The man in the hat had been efficient, almost professional. One shot, clean through the heart. No witnesses, no struggle, just a dead outlaw and a whole town gripped by dread. Blackwood had been a viper, poisoning the land with his greed and violence. Most folks figured he deserved whatever he got, but the way it happened it felt orchestrated, something far colder than simple revenge. Jed rose, brushing dust from his worn trousers. He's been questioning everyone in Redemption, a town steeped in desperation and shadowed by secrets. Elias Thorne, Blackwood's older brother, had been cooperative enough, almost too eager to help. Thorne claimed to be shocked by the news, a picture of grief and regret. But something in the way Thorne's eyes darted, the almost imperceptible tremor in his hands, told Jed he was holding back. He's brought Thorne back to his estate, a sprawling ranch house perched on a rise overlooking the harsh landscape. The air here was different, clean, scented with wild flowers, a stark contrast to the gritty fear of Redemption. A single crimson ruby lay nestled among the blossoms of a flower bed near the veranda steps. "You seem to be thriving, Mr. Thorne," Jed remarked, his voice deliberately casual. Thorne's face tightened, almost imperceptibly. "Hard times have been good to some, Marshal. My crops are plentiful." "Plenty of time to cultivate more than just crops, I imagine." Jed's gaze lingered on the ruby. "A man with your resources has a great deal of influence." Thorne sighed, a weary sound. "My brother was a troubled man, always chasing shadows, making enemies. And you aren't?" Thorne's eyes flickered. "I've always tried to live an honest life." "An honest life doesn't include expensive tastes and discreet disappearances, Mr. Thorne. Word gets around." The interrogation stretched on, a slow, deliberate tightening of the screws. Jed pressed him about their father, about the rumors of shady land deals and unspoken debts. Thorne initially deflected, but the weight of Jed's scrutiny was relentless. Finally, the dam broke, the tremor in his hands intensified, his voice cracked, and the carefully constructed facade crumbled. He confessed to a history of bitterness and resentment toward his brother, to a long-simmering feud over their father's legacy. He admitted to paying a man to send a message to Blackwood, to scare him into abandoning some of his schemes. "But I didn't want him dead, Marshal. I swear it," Thorne pleaded, his voice raw with desperation. Jed studied him, his expression unreadable. He believed Thorne was telling the truth about not wanting Blackwood dead, but the fact remained that he's still responsible for what happened. The hired man, the man in the hat, was a professional, an assassin. Someone with a greater agenda than simply scaring a rattlesnake. "Who did you hire, Mr. Thorne?" Jed asked, his voice like steel. Thorne shook his head, tears welling in his eyes. "I don't know his name. He was a contact, someone I paid through a third party." Jed frowned. This wasn't just about a family feud. There was a web of connections here, a conspiracy reaching far beyond Redemption and the Thorne estate. "Did your brother have any business dealings outside of this territory?" Thorne hesitated. He was involved with a shipping company out of New Orleans. Something about importing exotic goods. Exotic goods. The sandalwood. It was a subtle clue, the scent clinging to the edges of the case. Jed ordered Thorne's arrest, the cuffs spiking into his wrists. As they led Thorne away, Jed noticed something else near the flower bed, a small, intricately carved wooden bird, its wings folded, its eyes seemingly fixed on the crimson ruby. A memento, the calling card of a different kind. "Clem," Jed said, his voice low, "find out everything you can about that shipping company. And this bird, I want to know who carved it and why." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Thorne estate. Jed felt a chill, the certainty that this case was far from over. The arrest of Elias Thorne was a victory, but it also felt like a prelude to something darker, something far more dangerous. The scent of sandalwood lingered in the air, the constant reminder of the secrets that lay buried beneath the surface of the Arizona territory.